I call this meeting of the Magnolia Independent School District, Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of members, board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. So if everybody would please stand, Ms. Ebel is going to lead us in our invocation.
It's been our long-standing tradition to pray before our meetings. If you choose to join us, please bow our heads and let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for this wonderful community to raise our children in and to enjoy our families. It's a very special time of year. Please pray for a hedge of protection around our families and around our children. We have children that will be returning to Magnolia. We have college students returning to Magnolia, those in the armed forces and other places that will be returning. Please put a hedge of protection around them to safely come back home to enjoy the season. Lord, also please bless our teachers and our constables that protect this community. And in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So please stay standing because we're going to get Colin and Hank up here to lead our pledges. By the way, we got a couple of future Major League Baseball players with us tonight. So they're going to lead us in our pledges. I'm not sure who's doing what. One of you is doing U.S., the other is doing Texas, right? So we can do that. Lead us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
If you'd stay up here, Colin, have a seat for just a second. Thank you.
Good. Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Stevens, members of the board, Bear Branch Elementary School is proud to recognize fourth grader Hank Ribbing as the Magnolia ISD Student of the Month for December. Hank is the son of Bethany and Bill Ribbing, and he has attended Bear Branch Elementary School since his first grade year. Hank is joined this evening by his parents, his older brother Garner, grandparents Carol and Phil Garner, along with aunt and uncle Hope and Eric Garner, and cousins Marilyn and Josh. He's also joined by the campus leadership team at Bear Branch Elementary, along with his teachers, Miss Carol, Miss Schiebelhut, and Miss De La Cruz. Hank is a natural leader, as described by numerous staff members and his peers at Bear Branch Elementary. He holds high standards for himself in meeting his academic goals, and he brings out the best in others. Hank is known for following campus expectations, both inside and outside of the classroom, and he leads by example. One of Hank's teachers described him as a model student. He, in all caps, always does what he is supposed to do, is well behaved, and fully participates in all class activities. He is respectful and is always willing to offer help to other students. His third grade reading teacher, Ms. Schiebelhut, who's here with us tonight, said it best when she stated, Hank is always on time, prepared, and extremely focused. I have never met a student that works so hard for everything he learns. When giving him praise for his hard work and tremendous growth at the end of last year, Hank turned it all around, telling his math teacher and I that we are the ones that helped him get there. He thanked us for working hard for him. Hank embodies the kid you want your own kid to be like. He also has quite a sense of humor. 2 years ago, I was hanging Christmas lights at my house, and I got into a fight with an extension cord, got a black eye and a little cut, and Hank awarded me with a hard hat the following Monday, to which I still have. When I asked two of his close friends to tell me a little bit about Hank in their own words, both were quick to tell me that Hank is very athletic in his own right, but that he makes everyone on the field better regardless of whether they are playing baseball, football, or soccer. Both students described him as the perfect teammate, a leader who builds everyone up around him and that hits like a giant when they're playing football. Hank is heavily involved in athletics outside of school, where he is a winger for HTX Soccer and plays center field, first base, and pitcher for the majors team of Dirt Dogs. He plans to pursue a career in Major League Baseball after attending college at the University of Tennessee, like Grandpa, or Texas A&M University. You get that every time. Hank draws major inspiration from his grandfather, and he would like to thank his mom and dad, along with his brother and grandparents, for their continued support. Bear Branch Elementary School is a better place because of Hank, and we are all very proud to present him to you as the Student of the Month this evening. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Stevens. It is my pleasure tonight. I'm Mr. Hill, principal at Magnolia Intermediate School, and I'm joined by several of our supportive staff here to support this young man. Ms. Della Evans, our 5th grade AP, our 6th grade counselor, Ms. Golden, a couple of Collins teachers, Ms. Dollar and Ms. Flaherty, as well as our 6th grade AP, Mr. Howyer, and our academic coordinator, Ms. Garcia. We are all here to support Colin Harris. He is one of our amazing 6th grade students that we have at Magnolia Intermediate School. He is in all advanced classes and a straight A student who received masters on all of his STAR tests. When we asked our staff to nominate students who they felt were worthy of being our district's December Student of the Month, he was nominated by multiple staff members who described him as committed, passionate, enthusiastic, and a hard-working learner. They explained that he is very polite, kind, respectful, and well-mannered young man who is a great role model for all. At school, he plays the euphonium in the MIS band. In fact, he and his family are going to rush out of here after we take our pictures because his first band concert is tonight at Mag West. And he is also a part of our Number Sense Club and our running club. His favorite subject is math, and his favorite teachers are Ms. Temez, Mr. Hike, and Ms. Dollar. He explained that he loves all their classes because they make learning fun, and they all work hard to help him to improve. Well, once we informed Colin's teachers that he was selected as our December Student of the Month, here's what they said about him. Ms. Green, his advanced social studies teacher, stated, "Colin is such an enthusiastic student. He loves learning and always puts forth his best effort. Colin is polite and respectful to his teachers and gets along well with all of his peers." Mr. Miz, his advanced RLA teacher, said, "Colin is an amazing student in class and an incredible friend to his peers. His kindness and willingness to help show through everything that he does. They help show through everything that he does. Colin's true leadership skills show when he takes the time to work with his peers and explains topics that he is struggling with, that Colin can even help his peers to overcome any barriers that they have. Having Colin in class has truly been a blessing." Ms. Dollar, his advanced math teacher, stated, "I'm so excited for Colin to receive this award. He is the perfect student to represent our school. Colin embodies all of our MISD RIDE traits." MISD RIDE is our student values that we have. Colin shows respect to both teachers and his peers every day. He does this through actions of kindness and understanding of those around him and realizing that good actions and choices go a long way. Boy, does Colin show responsibility and determination in all his academics. He is so driven by self-goal setting to achieve things that have not been done or impossible to do. He thrives off of it, and I love seeing him rise to the challenge. He will come up running to me at the end of the week and let me know how many Dreambox lessons he has passed in a week. As of last Thursday, he had done 40 lessons in 1 week, and this wasn't even Friday at the time. He has a goal of 350 lessons this year, and I'm sure he will get there, if not more. I cannot wait to see where his determination will lead him in the future. Lastly, Colin is a role model to his peers with his traits of integrity and empathy because he has these characteristics. His fellow classmates trust him to be a leader in the group work, a peer tutor in partner work, and just a good all-around friend in the classroom. Keep it going, Colin. Never give up, and I know how amazing you are. All of that was from Ms. Dollar. Outside of school, Colin loves baseball and currently plays for the Black Sox. He explained that he does it all for them. Well, everything except for catcher and first base. He plans to be a baseball player when he grows up. He enjoys playing video games with his dad and playing outside with his twin brother and sister, Jacob and Lorelei. He is joined tonight by his mother, Teresa, father, Jonathan, his siblings, Jacob and Lorelei, his great aunt, Cheryl, his grandparents, Dee Dee, Diane, Ken, and Donist. Colin is formerly a Klein ISD student, but he came to Magnolia ISD in the 5th grade and explained that he likes Magnolia ISD much better. Well, Colin, we are happy that you have become a part of the Magnolia ISD family. We appreciate your hard work and leadership, and it is an absolute honor to present you to our community as the December Magnolia ISD Student of the Month, sir.
Y'all can't sit down, so come back here. So I told y'all we had some major leaguers right here, right? So this is yours. Congratulations. This is yours. I got to tell you guys, so we elect one person from each school each year to represent the campus. So you represent Magnolia Intermediate, and you represent Bear Branch. So you got the whole school covered for the year. So congratulations. It's quite an honor. Thank you. We want to thank America's ER for sponsoring this. But good job, guys. Look forward to seeing you again up here.
And concert.
Yes. Gives these guys another round.
Gary,
Yes.
while they're taking the pictures. I think we should give a shout out. We have an amazing career and technology program, CTE. And the representative tonight, we have the Magnolia West High School Culinary Arts Program has made some products, some treats for us, and they've left it here. We also have an amazing Magnolia West High School Advanced Floral Design. Just want to give them a shout out, but we have a great program. I mean, you can do anything from EMT, nursing, cosmetology. I mean, there is an amazing array of CTE programs that we offer, so I just wanted to give them a shout out tonight.
No, thank you. Yep. Okay, I think Dr. Garza's next. Oh, okay,
Ms. Wright will be doing that for us tonight.
okay. Dr. Garza, stand in.
I am, yes. Happy to be here.
That's cool.
Good evening, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Stevens, and the board. It's my pleasure tonight to be in for Dr. Garza to introduce Miss Ashley Sorbel. She is a 8th grade science teacher, as I understand it, at Magnolia Junior High, and also serves as department chair and team lead and model or teacher for our mentor program. Thank you. I was thinking, couldn't think of model. Mentor program. So anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Slater, who's going to tell you a little bit more about Miss Ashley.
Well, I'd like to also thank the board and Dr. Stevens and our curriculum department for giving us the opportunity to recognize Ashley Sorbel, who is truly an outstanding educator. And I'm a little biased in that I think we have some truly outstanding teachers at MGH, like truly. And so every day that Ashley Sorbel comes to work, I think she's in pretty rarefied air, but then to be singled out amongst that group means that she is something special, and she is. In all the ways that you would expect, she's special. You go into her classroom and it is engaging and it is managed well. It's all the things that you imagine a good classroom to be, but so much of teaching now is what happens behind the scenes. And that is what really distinguishes Ms. Sorbel from others. She doesn't just make her students better, she makes her whole department better in how she develops the people in it. She takes a tremendous amount of time out of her day to work with our 7th grade team as well, in addition to just the 8th grade team, to make sure that we are aligned and we are doing the right things in science every day for students. She's remarkable, and I think the video that we have will prove as much.
Every day is different for me, and I think that's what I love about it, is that I'm going to come and like the kids are going to tell me what's going on, or something's going to happen in class and I can learn from them, you know, and every day is different, and it's that excitement that brings me back every day. I think I've always wanted to be in this age range. They're so funny, and they all have their little quirks, and so it makes it so easy to make that personal relationship with them.
When you walk in Ashley Sorbel's class, you know that the things that are being taught are important. And so, as a kid and junior high kids have a great radar for who's legit and who's not. And you could tell right away that she is somebody who knows her stuff. And that's why kids gravitate to her.
I just really love to see the kids interacting and the kids really getting something. Like those aha moments are really what bring me back every single day.
Ashley Sorbel is a true teacher leader. She's our science department chair. She's an 8th grade science team facilitator. She's the head of our teacher mentor program here on campus. But you know what makes her, really distinguishes her as a leader, is her passion for student learning. I'm passionate too about our school. And our school, every single kid that goes to MGH is an important kid. And I want every teacher who works here to be passionate about what they do, because the kids who go to school here deserve the very best. And I am proud to have somebody like Ashley Sorbel on our campus, because I know every time a kid goes in their class, they're getting the very best.
I love teaching because it is the most rewarding job. The kids are coming back every day. You get to be involved in their lives, but you also get to see them learn. The ones that even you didn't think you were going to reach at the beginning of the year, those are the ones that you're going to get at the end of the year, and they're going to be the ones that come back the next year and be like, I loved Ms. Sorbel's class. So it's because of that teaching is one of the best jobs. You really get to just reach those kids.
Yeah, I won't say yay, mommy, but Ashley, I want to thank you for choosing to teach, and thank you for choosing Magnolia ISD. And I say we are proud that you call this home, and I think you're doing a great job of helping put us on the map, and we want you to hopefully call this a place that's home for a long, long time. You're also making Mr. Slater a better principal, part of that. So thank you so much.
I think you're next on the agenda.
We have PLCs. Sarah's back up. Model PLC. She's coming right now.
Oh. Oh, no, I missed it, sorry. Carry on.
Let's get a mic working there. They're coming.
I think it works. Yes.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right, let's start over. I'm here tonight. We have exciting news to announce. We have 2 more national model PLC schools to celebrate tonight, Ellisor Elementary and Bear Branch Intermediate. And so
We're rushing to the stage.
So here tonight is Jennifer from Solution Tree to tell us a little bit more about what it means to be a model PLC school.
Thank you, Sarah. Dr. Stevens, President Blizzard, and trustees, I'm honored to be with you this evening to recognize the success of Ellisor Elementary School and Bear Branch Intermediate School. Solution Tree is proud to partner with Magnolia ISD and celebrate the growth of your educational community, your teachers, leaders, and most importantly, your students. These 2 schools are one of only 107 model PLC schools in the state of Texas, and one of around 550 across the United States. So it really is quite an honor. The very foundation of professional learning communities at work is to build a lasting culture of learning with a daily focus on student achievement. Principals Boyd and Valinsky and their teams have done just that. Because of their focus on collaboration and communication within their collaborative teams, they have increased capacity in both their teachers and students. Both schools, Ellisor and Bear Branch, their teachers have a sense of ownership and collective responsibility within their collaborative team and a common school-wide mission to educate, inspire, and empower all students. Congratulations, Ellisor and Bear Branch Intermediate School. Funky.
Great job, guys. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into becoming a model PLC, professional learning community. And, you know, part of it is learning how to work together as professionals to ensure that you have everything going on to make sure that we get the maximum amount of the instruction that happens in a school building. And, you know, that's sounds pretty easy, but it takes a lot of hard work to figure out how that communication channels need to work. And then even beyond just kind of talking about it, you got to put it all into practice. And these schools have got processes they're model. It's working. And the proof is in the pudding of some of the great things that are happening for kids. And so we're so glad that they're being recognized now at a national level for that work that their teachers do together collaboratively. So how about one more round of applause for those 2 campuses for that? So can I just keep going? I'm on a roll.
Sure.
You know?
Great job, thank y'all.
And they can get some pictures made over there. So in the sake of time, I'm just going to go on the next item on here. I get to recognize a special group of parents. Now, they're really not any different than any of the rest of the parents. They've just spent some extra time learning about Magnolia ISD. And so we call this our parent leadership group. And this is the 11th cohort group of that group. I think we've probably been doing this for the last 15, 16 years. We took a hiatus during some of the COVID time, but during all those times, we bring in a group of parents and we sort of give them an inside view of all things that are Magnolia ISD, to see a little bit behind the scenes, what and why things work, where we're going, what some of our thought processes are in the administrative side of it. They got a chance tonight to visit and eat with our school board to hear a little bit about their vision, about where the district is going. And so I'm proud of this group. They were a fantastic group, and out of probably all the other cohorts that I've had a chance to work with, 11 may be one of the best ones that I've had a chance to be involved with. And so tonight, they're going to get a chance to graduate. And so if you were one of our cohort 11, would you stand up? Well, let's give them a round of applause just for standing up to start with. And let's see, I'm kind of making this up as I go. Raise your right hand. Do you affirm or strongly believe that you will continue to be great parents for Magnolia ISD, and that you will communicate some of the things that you found out about this district to your friends around the district, that you'll also stay in touch with us and let us know about some of the things that are happening in the community? And with that, if you agree, say I do. All right, by the power that's been invested in me by the Magnolia School Board, I do declare you the 11th cohort graduates for Magnolia ISD Parent Leadership. So congratulations. And so as I call your name, you come up here and we got a plaque and we'll get a picture.
I want to say as a graduate of another cohort class. Is it on?
I think.
Turn your mic on. You got to wait a second too.
As a graduate of another cohort class, Dr. Stevens might be right. This might be the best cohort yet, and not for whatever reason he made, but because I think the inclusion of spouses as part of the cohort is important. I think that we don't do this alone. It takes a village to raise our kids, especially the teenagers, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing as parents. I think the whole board does, and kudos to you for stepping up. Thanks.
All right, Micah and Jessica Granger, come on down. Rick and Christine Hanson. Appreciate it. Ryan and Adriana Hazel. Mark and Becca Henry. John and Elizabeth Jones. David and Stacy McCarty. Grant and Amber McCoy. Should have stayed y'all closer to the stage. Right. Congratulations. Josh and Allison Settlemeyer. Travis and Kayla Riddle. Accepting tonight. Clint and Ashley Price. Jason and Kim Paskey. Dennis and Christy O'Brien. All right, let's see if we can't get a picture over here. Can we get one more round of applause for these involved parents?
You know, I want to say a couple of thanks. This is our favorite part of the evening, by the way, the recognition time, in case you can't tell. I want to thank two groups of people here. Number one are our administrators, Todd, and all these guys that put this program together to make it happen. We appreciate that. And the second group is all the parents that you saw over here getting plaques and all. You know, we live in a crazy place, a crazy world. You hear on the news a lot of times, a lot of school districts don't want parents involved in the education. Well, we're cut out of a different cloth here, and we like that, and we want to keep it that way, keep the main thing. And having the parents involved, we encourage it. And so we just appreciate all you guys investing your time to learn more about what goes on in the district, just to spread the news and understand what we do. So thank you for that. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Bruner.
We had a school bond. We got some schools that are going up, and so Mr. Bruner's going to give his continuing saga of where we are.
Well, good evening, and glad to take this opportunity to kind of give you an update on where we're at with the new construction projects. We're going to start off with Audubon Elementary School. At this point, we're at a stage where we are waterproofing, and we've started masonry. We're going to start window installation this week. So with a goal of having this building dried in mid-January, hopefully exterior complete in March. We're also looking at permanent power in March. At that point, we'll turn on units and we can start really on our finishes and get on the down-home stretch of this project. There's a shot that I'm showing you there of the main entrance. This is a shot of the roof. I thought it was interesting. I wanted to show you this. This structure you're looking at, as you recall, we had to come to you for a fairly significant change order. One of the reasons was to put up mechanical screens on the roof, and this is the supporting structure for it. And this goes all the way through the roof and ties into the frame, but just to give you an idea, it's a pretty substantial. But a shot of the roof at this point we have pretty much dried in. This is just the base sheet. We'll come up from there with the other plies, but to give you an idea where we're at on that. This is a shot of the auditorium and the stage. This is a picture I'm going to probably try to keep trying to bring back to you because it shows the sort of evolution of this project. And you can see we're already moving into a lot of the rough end, the mechanical ductwork, and a lot of the plumbing. This is shot down a classroom corridor. Again, gives you an idea of the rough end. You've got overhead mechanical ductwork, plumbing, the fire suppression system, and obviously the walls are going up for the classrooms. Moving on, this is intermediate number 3. This is an aerial view. You can see where we're at on that. We are structural steel is pretty close to being fully erected, and we're putting in the decking for the roof and the second floor slab. And so you can see the layout of the detention pond. We're starting to do the paving for the parking lots. This project's coming together pretty quickly. Again, it's a shot of structural steel erection. And this is the second floor decking that's going on. This is actually in the administration area. Some big dates there. We have to be dried in by early March and permanent power in April or May. So this project will be shortly behind Audubon Elementary School, even though we don't really plan on moving in until 25. It's just going that quickly. Here's a shot of the junior high from the southeast corner. You can see 1488 there in the foreground. Where we've made progress here is we've got some paving in. Here's another shot coming from the northwest where you can see the outline of the building. It's about 50% of the slab on grade in, and a significant portion of the main parking lot is in. You also see the detention pond there to the left of that picture. So key dates on that is we should have the steel erected by early February. We're looking at a dry-in date somewhere around June, July, permanent power by July or August. And again, that's depending on the delivery dates of the transformers. So all the projects are on schedule, and we feel real good about where they're at. You guys got any questions for me? No?
All things running hot, straight, and normal, right?
Pretty good. By the way, I tell you what, I was 15 years old in 1979. My favorite team was the Pittsburgh Pirates. And my favorite player was Willie Stargell.
It's okay, he was our favorite player too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. You got anything else to cover before we?
Not now.
Well, all right, our favorite part of the evening, we're going to proceed next to the business section of the meeting. But before we do that, we're having a short break in case any of you want to duck out, but you're all very well encouraged and invited to stay. We'll take a 5-minute break. Thanks. Okay, thank you. We're back. Ms. Hinkleman, do we have, I know we've got one signed up to speak. Any others?
No, sir, just the one.
Okay. All right, perfect. I'm going to read this. So, and I'll probably mispronounce the name, Miss Catherine Kolognizak. All right, perfect. Come on down. And while you're coming down, I'm going to read something that I'm required to read. Participants must have turned in a request form 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. Participation is limited to 3 minutes. A timer is provided on the screen located in front of you. Once your time is up, we ask that you please return to your seat. Any complaint or charge brought against any employee by name opposition for which resolution has not been sought in accordance with policy should be pursued through the district's grievance policy. Please note that the Board of Trustees shall not deliberate, respond, or make decisions regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda that is posted. So thank you for being here.
Imagine asking to see your son's written work only to be told that the teacher must keep completed work in a binder for the district. Think about how you would feel if your daughter's teacher said she was not allowed to share a child's test with you. What if your daughter's teacher said she could be fired for showing you your child's test? These are all responses I've received from teachers in this district when I've asked to be included in my child's education. In fact, this semester, 2 teachers and an administrator informed me that it was not policy to share tests with parents. This is a clear violation of Chapter 26 of the Texas Education Code on Parental Rights. The state guarantees parents the right to access all of their children's tests, quizzes, and instructional materials. When I reminded the school they were in violation of the law, they relented, but not without conditions. It seems it is expeditious for this district to hoard tests and written work. You cite test security, technical limitations, and data collection as reasons why I can't readily access my son's work. As a parent, it certainly feels like this district is actively trying to remove me from my children's education. Your monthly newsletters are a poor substitute for eyes-on completed child's work. Why do you make it so hard? Teachers say they can't share information, admin says they can. I'm left to draw one of 2 conclusions. 1, this district has a tacit policy aimed at limiting parental oversight, or 2, this district does a poor job of communicating to its schools what schoolwork should be available to parents. I should never have to hear a teacher ask her department head for permission to share my daughter's quizzes with me. Your insistence on limited test access prevents me from taking an active role in my daughter's education. Not only do you limit access to graded tests, you also fail to review tests with students in class. Older students are left to find time outside of school to review their tests, and younger students go forward with little understanding of what they've missed. Daily work is worse. My children complete work in class that is rarely corrected. I've been told that you don't want to hurt their feelings with corrections. Is the answer to let children progress through school misinformed? It's no wonder that your writing scores continue to suffer when simple punctuation and capitalization errors aren't identified. Please bear in mind the anecdotes I've relayed here are factual and recurrent. I have 4 children in this district in 4 different schools. This is a battle I've been fighting for years through multiple schools, and I am frustrated by the lack of progress. This district continues to struggle with college readiness. Test scores across multiple grades and subject areas fall below state averages. While you push for more technology and district-wide standardization to combat these shortcomings, you miss the simplest solutions. Let teachers teach and let parents see their children's schoolwork. Allow teachers autonomy to revisit areas their class struggles with and grant them the time to review and correct assignments. After all, learning is often accomplished through failure. Send written work home and finally allow parents to participate in their children's education. The goal this district has set to achieve cannot be accomplished without community involvement. You must effect true cultural change, and that must start at home. I ask you to recognize that education is a partnership between parents and schools. It is not the sole purview of the district. Allow us to help you. Together, we can conquer the challenges education faces today.
Thanks for your time tonight. All right, Dr. Todd, you're next, I think.
What have I got going on? It's a superintendent's report. So before I break into the Christmas open house next Wednesday, which is one of the staples of Magnolia ISD, where our teachers get together right before we get a chance to leave. It starts at 10 and runs all the way to 3 p.m. So I think we have an early release with our kids on that day. And board, you are all invited to come up during some of that time and enjoy a little bit of fellowship with our teachers before they leave for Christmas break. You know, Saturday, the Magnolia Education Foundation put on its third breakfast with Santa in this building, and it was just filled with parents with their kiddos. And so kudos and shout out. If you can see behind me here, we have a wonderful Santa seat. Remove and just sit here for a second. And Shout out to Linda Stuckey and Bee's Knees for preparing a lot of the decorations that were used that day. And I don't know whether she's watching this online, but make sure we let her know that we reached out to her and thank her for her talent in decorating part of that. So at this point, after I've invited y'all to the Wednesday, also I'll let you know that tomorrow morning, the Charlie Riley Band will be rolling out for its 18th year of road tour to elementary schools, and we'll be playing Christmas songs with a country western flair for our kiddos. And so we look forward to that. And I think Ellisor is the first victim. We'll kind of have to work out a few of the kinks there at Ellisor. That probably wouldn't be the one to come to, but anyway. So at this point, we have a gifted and talented presentation. Miss Alana Woods is going to take us through that. So Alana, the mic is yours.
Thank you. I needed to walk just a little bit faster to make that timing work, right? But thank you. I want to once again thank you guys for the opportunity to present to you some numbers dealing with our gifted and talented and advanced academics programs that we have here in the district. This is just little updates on what we've had and reviews of what we have in place at all our different levels for our students. So currently, first, the number of students that we're providing services for at the elementary level, you'll see that 196 of our students are identified as GT, which is about 3.5% of the students at elementary. Intermediate, we're at 10%. At the junior high, we're a little over 7%. At the high school, we're at 6%. And our total population of GT students in the district is almost 6%. Ideally, the state likes it to be between 5 and 7. They fund up to 5% of our students. So it's not that we shoot for that number, but that's pretty much where we're sitting. It's a good number, and it's a good balance of where we are. Our continuum of services on the next slide, so you'll see how we offer these services to these students. Kindergarten through second grade, we push into classrooms, and we provide support to teachers through some extension activity or enrichment activities for those students in those classrooms. And then our third and fourth grades, we push into classrooms, and we also pull out 2 hours per week. We have, in this REACH program, we have 138 students that participate in REACH. Right now, they're currently building gingerbread houses for the Christmas open house, and you'll see those on display. You guys come and enjoy the open house next Wednesday. There'll be about a dozen of them on display for you guys to see. They'll do a build-off on Tuesday evening prior to. Our fifth grade program offers inclusion and a pull-out for launch, and we have 116 students that participate in that. The first 9 weeks, they built roller coasters, and this 9 weeks, they're working on a social studies project. Our 6th through 12th grades, we have inclusion. We provide services through inclusion, through our advanced courses, as well as AP, dual credit, and our IB courses. Just an update on our projects and performance. So as I mentioned in REACH, we have the cardboard gingerbread houses will be on display on Wednesday, and the build-off will be Tuesday. In March, we'll have our second Magnolia Market, which will be here in the Event Center, where students do a model of a Magnolia community. And we'll get you guys on the invite list because it is an awesome event where students just do, they come up with their own businesses and they work a bank and have credit cards and all that. We don't teach debt. We teach how to use responsibly a credit card. So as I mentioned, our launch program with our roller coasters at the intermediate levels, they were on display in late October where we held our first GT symposium or expo where we had representatives from K through 12 here talking about our services in GT, showing projects and having discussions with junior high parents that were here to talk about what's course choice to take for their students. And what do we do with PSAT? Now that we've taken the PSAT, it was actually the evening of the PSAT. And so had college applications and such were discussed for those parents as well, just to kind of give parents more information about making the right choices for their students in our program. Currently, in our dual credit program, we offer our 2 English courses. We offer 7 courses in math, 3 courses in social studies, and this fall, we have 773 seats filled. So some of those students may be taking more than 1 dual credit course, but we have 773 seats filled in our dual credit courses at both high schools. Touching on our AP program, you saw evidence of its success at last month's meeting when we recognized our College Board students. Over the last 3 years, you'll see in blue is the number of students that have enrolled or taken an AP exam. Number of exams that were given is in red, and the number of students who scored, or the number of exam scores that were 3 or higher, is in green. You'll see the growth over the last 3 years in not just the students, but also the number of exams. And then I'd like to correlate that if you look at from 22 to 23, there was an 11% increase in the number of students, but a 15% increase in the number of our results of 3 or higher. So what we kind of attribute this to is just our students are feeling more successful with taking more exams, and our teachers are doing, and our high school campuses are doing an awesome job of creating this self-confidence in these students to be able to take these courses and to take more than 1 AP exam. As an additional note, if you'll see the number of exams last year, we were at 1,825. We placed an order for 2,246 exams for the spring. So there's a significant increase again. So hopefully that green column will increase as well. So we're pleased with our numbers and what our campuses are doing, both of our high school campuses are doing to help facilitate that growth for those students. Our other program that wasn't recognized with students last month, but will be recognized later this month with our IB graduation program, is our International Baccalaureate program. You'll see over the last 3 years, we've also seen, there was a little dip in 2022 with our number of students and number of exams given, but our number of diploma candidates reached back up where it had been in the previous years. So we're seeing here too is our IB students are still taking AP exams. We had about 37 of the AP exams in English were taken by IB students for the AP exams. So not only are these students taking their IB exams, but they're also encouraged to take AP exams as well to show that they're a well-rounded advanced academic student, because those assessments come at 2 different angles at those students. And so we'll see that even though we have from 22 to 23, back at our IB numbers, it's ironic that it's the same number of students and same number of students enrolled in the program, we have an increase in number of exams, which shows that we have more students taking courses and taking multiple courses, and more diploma students taking more courses in IB. So that's why there's an increase in the exam number, but yet the same number of students involved in the program, which also shows the increase in number of diploma candidates as well. And so we were very successful with our IB program last year, with the success rate with our IB candidates that achieved a diploma rate, a diploma. Yes, ma'am.
Kind of adding to that, because maybe if you have younger elementary age students or junior high, you don't quite understand, but if you're in the IB program and the AP program or taking the test, you can take the IB, like you're saying, you can take the IB exams and the AP exams, and that's going to give you more college credit. And so we have students that are going into college, some of them entering as sophomores, which allows them to enroll in classes earlier, not as a freshman. They might get their housing earlier, they'll get their parking earlier, but it also saves money for them and their families, because if they can take those IB tests and those AP tests, it's equating to more credit, right, when they enroll in college. And there's fewer college classes they actually have to take that they have to spend the money on. So I think it's a fantastic program, you know.
Yes. Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
That I wanted just to give a shout out to you, that 3rd and 4th grade, you have the Project Reach, which I believe then you have the Magnolia Market. Yes. And I've attended that in the past, and I have never seen kids so excited. And if you're not aware of the program, these kids are so creative in 3rd and 4th grade. They have to come up with businesses to run. And this whole place turns into a mini town. And they have multiple businesses that they're running. They learn how to run the business. They learn how to charge fees for the business. I know I was lucky enough to get a credit card to run around and experience the businesses, but it's a great program. It gives them insight into what it's like, maybe in the real world a little bit.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Thanks again for your continued support for Advanced Academics. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. You know, it starts at a young age. Thank you all, everybody sitting in this room, to help build these kind of results. They're fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move to our consent agenda, and this portion of the agenda consists of items to be routine and will be enacted by one motion unless separate discussion is requested. So the question is separate discussion requested by anybody? Anybody got any questions? Everybody good? Okay, so if there aren't any questions, we need a motion that the board approve consent agenda items A through C. Motion by Sonia, seconded by Travis. All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you. Okay, Dr. King, I think, is next. All right, here we go.
All right, well, good evening, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Stevens, members of the board. So I'm here tonight to talk about something we talked about last month, and that was elementary boundaries and proposing new elementary zones. And so really tonight I wanted to go through a couple of things that might be just a little bit of a review, give you some new information about our proposed transfer process that comes with that, and then ask you guys to vote as to whether or not we're going to approve these new and proposed zones. So just a little bit about the process. As you know from last month's meeting, we sent letters out to parents in September. Also posted information on our website about the boundary process and the proposed zones. We sent out thought exchanges. Ms. Myers, I believe, talked to you about that last month, where that's just a way for us to get feedback from the community, ask questions. Our community can rate the different answers they get. So we did get some good feedback about that. We sent 2 different exchanges out, one September through September 7th and 20th, and another from October 18th and November 1st. We also kind of had a little bit more of a boots on the ground approach, you might say, and go to our elementary schools, especially those ones that we saw changes in the boundaries, to go to their PTO meetings, listen to the things they had to say, concerns they had, take their feedback as we continue to try to create boundaries that we think work best for our students and our community. And then last month had a short presentation to you guys. We had an opportunity to hear a little bit of information about what we were proposing and ask some questions if you had them. So that's a little bit of the process. I don't want to belabor this point, but I just, we'll throw it in there again with the district housing overview, just to show some of the impetus for obviously, passing a bond and building a new school, but also changing the boundaries so that we can make sure we don't have schools that are their enrollment is much higher than another school. So you can see just that the housing market is sort of driving a lot of our enrollment. You can see where you have Williams and the highest activity there, along with Smith, Parkway, of course, and Magnolia Elementary. And then we looked at our 10-year enrollment projections, but we don't have to look very far into the future, especially for Parkway and Williams, to see that based off our demographic models, next year they would be over capacity. And so luckily those are 2 schools that will be impacted by the building of Audubon. And then again, more reason for us to redo and propose new zones to try to balance out our enrollment and make sure that our schools aren't over capacity. So here are our current zones. As you can see, you're very familiar with those. And before I go to our other zones, I think it's important, through this whole time we've sent out thought exchanges, but we've obviously continued to keep things open for people to give us feedback and ask questions. Really, since I presented to you guys last month, we have not heard much feedback whatsoever on anything that we've posted on our website that's been proposed. So since I presented to you last month, really we've had no reason to change what we were proposing. So again, here are our current elementary zones. And then here are our proposed elementary zones. So you can see most of our growth coming right there off 249 up through the middle to west side of the district. And nice clean lines, clean zones. Any questions about what we're proposing? I can also talk to you a little bit about the transfer process, but I want to stop and make sure before we get there we don't have any questions about the proposed zones.
I had a question. If you go back to, was it October, September, you had the thought exchange or the surveys with parents. And if I recall, was it only about 10 or 11% of parents were interested in keeping their kids in the current schools that the children are currently in?
Yes, ma'am. I believe the question we asked was if so essentially if you had a student who was going into the 4th grade next year, which would be the last grade level in their elementary school, would you want them to continue in their current elementary school once the boundaries changed? And yes, ma'am, it was about 10% of the parents that completed the survey said that they would like to stay at their new elementary school.
Okay. And that's out of what, maybe 1,500
Yes, ma'am.
responses?
Yes, ma'am, on that particular question.
And then if they wanted to stay in those remaining schools, or if they have younger siblings, we're looking at grandfathering those families into those schools?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, so for instance, if you have an incoming 4th grader and you fill out a transfer request and you have an incoming 1st grader as well, if one transfer is granted, another transfer would be granted. So both of those students can continue going to that elementary school.
Thank you.
Unless there's other questions, it kind of segues nicely into the next slide. Any other questions about the proposed zones? I can always come back. So transfer process. So Ms. Ebel, to your question, I don't want to jump ahead, but this is dependent on a board resolution, and I can explain that here in a minute. But essentially, we have to have what's called an intra-district transfer process, which is where if you want to transfer from one school to another within the district, not coming outside the district into a school. And this would be specifically for families who are impacted by the potential new zones and want their children to stay at their current campus. We have not narrowed this to say, hey, it can only be your last year in that elementary school. We would like to start off very general and let the capacity of schools, staffing, and program availability to be the thing that drives our decision making, so that we don't pigeonhole ourselves into only being able to say it has to be your last year in that school in order for you to be granted a transfer. Our goal is to have that process available no later than February 1st. That is just a soft goal at this point. We want to see how things work out, but we feel good about that. And then there would be a specific place where parents could go on our website, click a link. It takes them to the transfer process, explains the reason they need to use this school boundaries in order to make sure that on our end we understand why they're making the request they're making, and we can sift through those and prioritize those. And we would open that February 1st is a little earlier than what we would normally open up our inter-district transfers, and so that would be specifically for parents who are looking to stay at their current campuses. Of course, as I said, it's all subject to classroom capacity, staffing, and program availability, and we look at that annually. And one caveat is we never have, and we don't intend to provide transportation for students on an inter-district transfer. So if you're zoned to Williams, but you get your inter-district transfer approved to stay at Magnolia Elementary, that's awesome. You can stay at Magnolia Elementary, but we would not transport those students to Magnolia Elementary School. And then transfers are valid for one school year. So we would ask parents to continue to apply for an inter-district transfer, just like we always have for any other inter-district transfer. And we would have to look at that annually to, again, look at the capacity of campuses, staffing, and program availability. Questions about that?
Talking to the principals at those schools impacted and the surveys or thought exchange, you're still seeing this as a small percentage that might be interested?
Yes, ma'am.
Included, so the anecdotal information is telling you the same as a thought exchange?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll go back to the proposed elementary zones, and unless there are other questions, then I think it's time for you guys to vote to see if you'd like to approve these new zones.
Anybody have any questions? Everybody good? one of the neat things, I think, is the flexibility that you're trying to maintain and being as accommodating as you can. So I think this is a cool deal. I mean, it's done as well. And you got to recognize all the work that went into this before all the surveys, before all the, to try to just get all this figured out. So
Yeah,
it's not.
Ms. Myers really kind of spearheaded that. I have to give kudos to her and her team for really communicating what our intentions are and what the plan is. So they've done a wonderful job.
Yeah. Great work. Okay, we need a motion that the board approve the proposed elementary boundaries as presented to be effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Motion by Travis, seconded by Jordan. All those in favor? All right, that motion passes. Thank you, sir. And it looks like you're continuing on.
So we didn't want to be too presumptuous, but we did want to on the chance that the new zones were approved. As we looked at our inter-district transfer process, and I won't go over the whole thing again, we really kind of hit the details in the last presentation. As we looked at our current board policy for inter-district transfers, there are certain criteria that we have to consider that really guides our decision-making process on which inter-district transfers we approve and which we might deny. Changing school boundaries was not one of those reasons. So what I'm asking for you guys tonight is to consider and approve a resolution to our current board policy for inter-district transfers. This resolution would simply give Dr. Stevens as a superintendent the authority to create criteria that we can look at to specifically make decisions about inter-district transfers for changing school boundary reasons. All our other criteria would stay the same. For other inter-district transfer requests that we get throughout the year, this would just be for Dr. Stevens and his delegates to sit and say, hey, these are criteria we need to look at, including school staffing, school capacity, and the like, to help us make decisions as we get those inter-district transfers come in. So very simply, what I'm asking for you guys to do is to take action on that resolution and give Dr. Stevens the authority to make the criteria. Questions?
Everybody good?
I'm sure the delegates will be heavily involved in that.
Okay, we need a motion that the board approve the intra-district transfer resolution as presented. Motion by somebody. Dasha, seconded by Sonia. All in favor? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Dr. Bullock, I think you've got a couple of reams of paper to go through with us.
Thank you, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Stevens, members of the board. This is Board Policy Update 122. I know that Ms. Hinkleman was kind enough to send you guys the review material in advance. Part of that is because of its length. Mr. Blizzard made reference to that. It is 912 pages of policy update. So I do not plan to read all that to you as I stand here this evening. I've tried to find a way to kind of boil some of this down into what I think would be important for us to go over. The first thing I want to point out to you is that this is not an action item for this evening. This is for review only. So the goal this evening is to bring this in front of you, give you guys some time to review the policy. Should you have questions before this comes back to you as an action item next month, then you would have the space and time to do that. As an administration, we have taken some action to start to digest the 900 plus pages ourselves. So we had an administrative meeting last week where each one of the legal and local policies was split in a spreadsheet and assigned to the administrator who is the expert in the area that policy applies to. I think we had 20-something administrators present at that meeting, everything from technology to business. Even Mr. Bruner had items dealing with construction. Everything from special education to general instruction, human resources, student services, as you would imagine. So we have the experts within the district making sure we're evaluating our current practice to see what needs to change. in order to make sure that we are following the Update 122 and the policy rules that come out of the recent 88th legislative session, which is kind of what drives all this. So that's how we're working to make sure we're on top of a lot of the legal policy updates. And just as a reminder to you guys as a board, you guys don't vote on the legal policy update. That changes in reaction to actions of the legislature and the courts and commissioners' decisions, et cetera. But the local policy you guys do vote on. So there are a few local policies in this update. This is very heavy on legal policy because it is freshly out of and driven largely by the results out of the 88th legislative session. So I want to talk about the local policies here, then I'm happy to take whatever questions I can. There are 10 local policies affected in this update, and there are the usual just kind of housekeeping things in a few spots. For instance, CQB local, technology resources about cybersecurity. The language in there has changed to not just reflect reporting of breaches, security breaches, but also what the law terms security incidents. So a little bit wider reporting requirement for us. The policy at CSA is a new policy that is reflective of rules that have come from the commissioner about building and security audits. You guys know you've been getting your building security reports as part of your agenda. This is the policy that is now catching up to reflect that requirement. DC local and employment practices. I don't know that it necessarily applies to us. It might at some point, but should any of you or Dr. Stevens have a relative that wants to apply to be a bus driver in the district, maybe this is an indication of bus driver shortages across the state, but that there is now an exception in place that is no longer a violation of nepotism laws for us to hire a relative of yours to drive a bus. So that policy change is in effect. You'll see EHB incorporates dyslexia standards that are set by the State Board of Education and the commissioner. These are things we've been working on for quite some time. Again, it's policy catching up with really dyslexia services being moved under special education. Let's see. Parent request for classroom teacher assignments after failing a course. That's incorporated in EHBC. That is dealing with compensatory services and intensive programs. There's some language change about accelerated learning committees no longer being something that's done in the law. We've now shifted that to new terminology. One of the things that I think is most interesting under FEA local, which deals with compulsory attendance, the education code is now changed to allow us to grant 2 more days to juniors and 2 more days to seniors, so a total of 4 days to be absent from school for an excused absence for career exploration. Not just college visits, but for really visiting someone on the job and looking into a potential future for themselves. So I think that's a positive development that we're asking you to consider as part of this update as well. And then finally, there's some things about confidentiality of reporting student crisis for employees, and all of that falls under safety regulations. I guess the last thing probably that is a substantive change deals with FEA local wellness and health services, medical treatment. This is about opioid antagonists. We've talked about this before, that we are already making moves as a district to have, and these are nasal spray is the form of administration for this, present on campus to hopefully prevent, a dangerous situation should need be. So currently we do have the opioid antagonist available on campuses, and our SROs are trained to administer those. And as this policy moves forward with you guys, we'll work to put more regulations and expand training on that as we go forward. But this is, in a nutshell, the local update that accompanies the legal. I'm happy to answer questions or discuss as you guys would prefer.
I was most happy to see on FEA local. In the past, we've allowed our juniors and seniors to have 2 days their junior year and 2 days their senior year to visit colleges.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I really love about this change is it allows them 2 additional days junior year and senior year, but it's to visit a place of work, correct, that they might want to go be part of.
That's right.
And it is in addition to the 2 days, both junior and senior year for colleges, right? So it's really 4 days.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. That's correct.
That's such
I think it's a great thing.
positive change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And being that it's an excused absence, it's also an absence that wouldn't affect exemptions, which is always one of the questions that comes up as well.
Right, because I know in the past, we've had students want to visit four different outings to colleges or workplaces, but the state only allows 2, right?
That's right. Yes, ma'am. So this is actually a change to the education code to allow the 2 career investigation visits on top of the 2 college visits, both during the junior year and the senior year.
Yeah, that's a great move this year. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm curious, we saw the litany of changes. Is there anything that was particularly onerous or challenging that you saw?
The 900 pages.
That's all.
Yes, sir. It's a lot for, you kind of realize at some point it's too much for one person to wrap their mind around all the minutiae and detail, and really, that's why we have the experts that we have in the district, and, kind of figure out how to move through it, right, in a way that means that we're, in line with the things we need to be in line with, and, that we're changing practice where we need to, and that we have an understanding of what's going on. I think that's been the biggest challenge for something like this.
How soon how soon do we have to implement?
Well, a lot of it's already in process. Some of the changes, Mr. Michaels, have deadlines associated with them, like maybe by end of the school year or first of the year. It's really dependent policy by policy. Some of this is the legislature passes it, went into effect at the beginning of the school year, and we've already started doing some of this, like the opioid antagonist and some of that is, and now it's just the policy wing is catching up with the practice. It's a good question. Other questions at this point?
Everybody good? Like he said, this is for review, so thank you very much.
Yes, and it'll come back to you next month on your consent agenda, and I'm happy to answer questions in the meantime if anything comes up.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, our next item tonight is to approve designation of representatives to the Houston-Galveston Area Council General Assembly. That's a mouthful. And I'll read a little blurb here just so people can know what it is if they don't. As a local regional organization, HGAC's job is to provide a forum for collaboration among its members to support our region. As a member of Houston-Galveston Area Council, our ISD, Magnolia ISD, is asked each year to designate 2 members from our board to serve as representative and alternate to the General Assembly. So the HGAC ISD representative and/or alternate regularly attend monthly board meetings held in their offices on the 3rd Tuesday of each month in Houston. And the role of these individuals is to serve as our voice regarding matters of concern within the school districts of our region and to identify potential funding opportunities and resources that may be of value to member school districts. So HGAC has many programs and services that could benefit students and allow them to have brighter and more successful futures. And last year, I think, and many years before, Dr. Moffitt was our representative, and the alternate has been Sonia. And thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I think I'd probably like to pass the baton on that. Their meetings are at 9 in the morning during the week, so it's really hard to be involved in those. And you can do it online, or you go downtown to be a part of them. So I'm gonna pass the baton and I'll nominate Sonia.
Well, in fact, we're going to look for volunteers tonight. So thank you. I just wanted to thank you for having done it. I mean, and you've done it for more than 1 year. I know that. So, do we have any volunteers for this? Stacia is almost raising her hand. Okay. Do we have an alternate? We're having to pull teeth up here, folks. Who?
I would be willing to be the alternate.
Okay, cool. All right, excellent.
Does that work? Is it, if she can't go, I'm an alternate, or is it?
That's correct.
She doesn't want to do it at all.
Thank you.
How does that work?
Yeah, after she does it once, you might have to step in for the rest of the year.
Oh, okay.
I've been to a couple of dinners. And both people, at the dinners, both people, they said both of us could come, but I think at the actual meeting, just the representative can come. And then, yeah, there's a lot of people there from a bunch of different municipalities. That's what it's made up of, is school boards and water boards and different municipalities in Houston, and for each city, county in the Houston area. And so there's a lot of people there. So I think they just want one, whichever one of y'all can come.
You in, Stacy? Are you in? I'm yes.
All right, are we good? If that's true, thank you, Travis. If that's true, then we need a motion that Magnolia ISD Board of Trustees approve to appoint Stacia as representative and Dasha as alternate to the HGAC General Assembly for the year 2024. Motion by Travis, seconded by Jordan. All those in favor? All right, that motion passes. Thank you. Okay, sir.
We're ready to stand in recess.
No other unfinished items, huh?
Well, there may be, but we're
We're not going to finish them
not
here.
going to finish them here.
All right, so now our board's going to recess to move into closed executive session for the purposes committed by consultation with attorney pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, discussion of purchase, sale, exchange, or value of real property pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.072, and personnel discussion and recommendations pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time. All right, we need a motion that we're back. We need a motion we adjourn this meeting. Motion by Sonia, seconded by Dasha. All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.